Welcome to this journey through one of the most mind-bending concepts of human behavior, the way we think. In this audiobook, I'll walk you through the fascinating, often surprising ways our brains process information. From snap judgments to slow, deliberate thinking, we'll explore how these two distinct modes of thought shape our decisions, our lives, and even our futures. Section 1: The two systems of thinking? Okay, so let's start with the big picture. I'll introduce you to two different systems in your brain. The first one is System 1. Imagine this as your brain's autopilot. System 1 works quickly, automatically, and with little to no effort. It's how you recognize your best friend in a crowded room or avoid tripping over an object while walking. System 1 is essential for day-to-day tasks, things that don't need a lot of deep thought. It's fast, and it's efficient. But here's the catch, it also makes judgments without fully thinking them through. If you've ever jumped to conclusions about something or made a snap decision that turned out to be wrong, that's System 1 at work. Then, we've got System 2. This is where the slow, deliberate thinking happens. It's the part of you that solves math problems, plans out a project, or makes big decisions, like choosing a new job or moving to a different city. System 2 requires focus, energy, and effort. It's like a brain workout. The problem is, System 2 doesn't always get used, and when it doesn't, System 1 takes over. And sometimes that can lead to trouble. Section 2: Heuristics and biases, mental shortcuts. Now, let's talk about something that happens all the time but most of us don't realize: heuristics. These are mental shortcuts our brains use to make decisions faster. On the surface, this seems like a good thing, it saves time. But these shortcuts can also lead to biases, and that's where things get a little tricky. For example, one heuristic I want to highlight is called the availability heuristic. This is when you make decisions based on information that's easiest to recall, like when you overestimate the danger of flying because you recently saw a news story about a plane crash. You're not thinking logically about the actual risks, you're just remembering what's most available in your mind. Another sneaky one is the representativeness heuristic. This is when we judge something based on how similar it is to a prototype or stereotype. Let's say you meet someone who's quiet, loves to read, and is introverted. You might immediately think, they must be a librarian. You're using that mental shortcut to make a quick decision, but that doesn't mean it's accurate. Heuristics are useful, they make decision-making faster, but they can also cause us to misjudge situations, especially when we're under pressure. Section 3: Biases, the real culprits. Speaking of misjudgments, let's talk about biases. These are the things that make us think we're being logical when, in reality, we're falling into predictable patterns of flawed thinking. One of my favorite biases is the anchoring effect. Here's how it works. Imagine you're shopping for a new couch, and the first one you see is priced at $3,000. Now, even if you find another couch later for $2,000, you're likely to think it's a great deal, even though that second couch might still be overpriced. Why? Because your brain was anchored to that $3,000 price tag. Then, there's loss aversion. This is wild. It turns out we feel the pain of losing something much more intensely than the pleasure of gaining something of equal value. For example, losing $100 feels way worse than finding $100 feels good. This makes us act irrationally in many situations, holding on to things that no longer serve us, whether it's a bad investment or an unhealthy relationship, simply because we fear loss more than we value gain. Section 4: Overconfidence. We all think we're right. Now, let's talk about something we all struggle with: overconfidence. This is when we overestimate our knowledge, abilities, and even our ability to predict future events. You've probably experienced this at some point. You're convinced you know exactly how something is going to play out, whether it's a sports game or a decision at work. We all do it. But the problem with overconfidence is that it leads us to take bigger risks, ignore other perspectives, and make decisions that are less informed than we think. The real kicker is that we often don't realize how much we don't know. We'll look at a problem, think we've got it figured out, and charge ahead, only to discover later that our assumptions were way off. This kind of overconfidence can be dangerous in high-stakes situations, like investing or making big life decisions. Section 5. Prospect Theory: How we deal with risk. Here's something I've always found fascinating: how we perceive risk and reward. We don't make decisions based on cold, hard logic. Instead, we're deeply influenced by how options are framed. This is known as prospect theory. Let's say I offer you a choice. You can either take a 50% chance of winning $100 and a 50% chance of losing $100, or you can take a guaranteed $50. Even though the expected value is the same, most people will choose the $50 guaranteed option. Why? Because we fear losses more than we value gains. In fact, the pain of losing something is often far greater than the pleasure of gaining something of the same value. This is why people sometimes make irrational decisions to avoid risks, even when taking a risk could actually lead to a better outcome. Section 6. The Two Selves: How we remember things. Now let's take a deep dive into something really cool. I want to introduce you to two versions of yourself: the experiencing self and the remembering self. The experiencing self is the one that lives in the moment, the one that feels things as they happen. The remembering self is the part of you that looks back on experiences and tells the story of what happened. The twist here is that your remembering self isn't always reliable. For example, think about a vacation. While you're experiencing it, there are annoyances, delays, bad weather, maybe even some arguments. But your remembering self tends to focus on the good parts, like a beautiful sunset or a fun night out with friends. This is why we sometimes make decisions based on how we think we'll feel in the future, rather than how we're actually experiencing something in the present. Conclusion: becoming a better decision maker. Alright, so what can we take away from all of this? The key idea is that our brains are wired to make mistakes. It's just part of being human. But by recognizing the biases, heuristics, and patterns in our thinking, we can make better, more rational decisions. The next time you're faced with a choice, take a step back and ask yourself, is my system one making a snap judgment? Am I falling for a bias? Have I really considered all the options, or am I just going with the first thing that comes to mind? By slowing down and engaging our slower, more deliberate thinking system, we can make smarter decisions, whether it's choosing what to eat for lunch or making a life-changing career move. Thanks for listening, and I hope this book has sparked some new insights about the way you think. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to share it with someone else who might find it valuable. Until next time, keep thinking, keep learning, and keep questioning your own assumptions, but most importantly, do not forget to subscribe for more contents like this.